Okay, guys, we're going to learn how to write our own reduce and every method. So the prerequisite is you know what reduce does. Okay? All right, here's the regular reduce. Here's ours. We're taking in an array, a combined function, because every iteration we have to remember what to return, and an optional starting value. So what I'm going to do is I'll just do let current val be equal to the start value, right? Because if they give us that, that's going to be the current val. Then just a very, very simple regular for loop, ar.length, I plus plus. And then for every loop inside here, our current val will be reassigned to the return call of combined func. But what are we passing in? Well, we're going to pass in the current value that we're on, right? And then the next value we want to evaluate, which is what ARR at I, because we're still inside of the for loop. Okay. And then that's actually it. We can just return current val. Let me console.log current val as well. So that's that. And then I'm going to call my reduce, passing in this ARR, and then passing in my own function, returning a plus b, passing in a 0. And you see that we get 15. Now, if I delete this 0, we get nan. Okay, but if you look at the original one, I don't have 0, but it still works. So we got to fix it. Okay, so let's leave it like this. We want to fix this nan. So why is this not working? That's because we're not taking care of what happens when there is no starting value. What should the current value be if there's no starting value? Well, we're going to say, hey, if the starting value is not equal to null or undefined, that's what double equal stands for. Okay. So if this is true, right, that means that they did provide us with a starting value. So current value would be the start value. Whoops. Would be start. Right? And if not, then it's got to be the first value in this array, which is ARR at 0. And then down here, I'm going to do let counter, and it's going to be equal to kind of the same thing, right? So if they did provide us something, then we can start 0 instead of 1, right? And if not, we're going to start with 1. Yeah. All right. So now if we change this to counter, okay, let I equal to counter. See, now it works. And now if we add in a 0, it'll still work correctly. Cool, right? Okay, now that's reduce. Let's talk about every. So what does the every method do? Well, it's going to loop through your array just like every other one, right? And it's only going to return true if all of your values passes your test. Okay, so function my every, that sounds weird, my every method takes in an array and my func. Okay, now let's think about this. First, we have to loop through these, right? Regular for loop, I equals 0. Okay, so now you can simply just say, hey, if inside of this loop, whenever my func returns false, then we're just going to return false on the whole thing. But what are we passing in? The current value that we're on, ARR at the current index. So if this is falsy, return false. If this whole for loop runs to completion, that means everything is truthy, then we'll return true. Okay. So now we can do, let's call my every method, passing in ARR and our own function. Let me do a regular function this time. Now, let's check if everything here is an odd number or even. So we're going to return val divided by 2 equal to 0. And if I will just copy paste this, if I copy paste this, it's false right now. Okay, but if I delete this and put all even numbers and then paste it again, you're going to see that it's true. Okay? So yeah, there you go. Reduce and every.